Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I am so happy you clicked on today's video. Have you ever just worked on a set of projects or a project and it just brought you so much joy? Whether it's the colors, the design, the style, the outcome, whatever it may be, that is how these projects made me feel this week. They're bright, sunny, and just happy vibes. I also got a furniture makeover, the last project today, and I love how it came out too. Y'all let me know what you think about today's projects, and let's go ahead and get started. One last thing. The 20% off IOD sale ends tonight, which is July 15th at midnight. So be sure to hop over there and enjoy the last few hours of this sale. And now let's get started. Hey, sweet friends. Thanks for joining me today. Our first project is this cabinet. I've had in my stash for a while. I paid $10 for it. And I really wanted to keep the door on this piece, but it was just a little forward heavy, so I ended up removing the door after I gave everything a scuff sand. It just wanted to tip over, and I did not want to mount this to anything in my booth, so that was just too dangerous to try to work out. So the door is going to be removed, and I'll save that for a project down the road. I'm going to finish up scuff sanding everything, and then we'll give the piece a good wipe down. Our next step is to come in with a nice healthy layer of shellac on all the surfaces. I am going to be painting the inside a different color than the outside, but it's just going to be best to go ahead and prime all of it. And as I'm going to fill in those hardware holes with just a little bit of air dry clay, smooth it over, and then prime right over it. We are going to be mixing up some curry and some flour sack to get a little bit lighter of a yellow than curry is naturally. I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of this pack in there and then just add a couple scoops of flour sack. Then I needed a bit larger container, and now I'm going to add my water. I'm going to mix those together well and let it sit and thicken up for about 10 minutes before I come in and start painting. I really love this yellow combination. Just lightens it up a tad, and I have become slightly addicted to this color. So here we go. We're painting that first layer. I'm going to keep this color to the exterior and the face frame area, and we're going to go ahead and do 2 coats. Then for the interior, I'm going to come in with a all-in-one white paint, and I'm going to go ahead and give this area 2 coats as well. I am loving the white up against the yellow. It's just so fresh feeling. I just love this combination. This area did take 2 coats as well, if I didn't already say that. Now we are bringing out all the fun colors and a folk art stencil. I have some red, some orange, some green, darker green, blue, and a darker blue, and even some white, and several small artist brushes. I'm going to use this stencil very personalized, meaning I'm just going to use bits and bobs from it, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of hand painting as well to get the design I truly want. So I just searched Pinterest for my inspiration colors and then just found what I was looking at on Pinterest somewhere in this pack of stencils and just went to town. Now, you could definitely do this by hand if you're more talented than me, but I don't have a steady hand, so a stencil in some areas was needed for me because I'm a perfectionist. But we're going to do this design that I'm showing you right now all the way up the left and right side over and over and over again. Yes, I was using my t-shirt to wipe off my brushes. That's why I love wearing shop clothes. Now I have a lead pencil. I'm going to go from the left to the right side and draw a swiggle, like a little snake shape. Once I get that looking the way I like, I erased and redid this several times. I'm going to paint over it with the lighter green color. And then now I'm going to come in and add a little hand painted leaves up and down our vine we just created. I'm going to do this same design on the top side of the face frame on this cabinet as well. Next, I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush dipped in some orange to do the center of our flowers, and then I'll grab another paintbrush dipped in white to do the petals of my flowers. And I'm going to do this exact same thing to the top of the cabinet as well. For the face area of the shelf, I wanted to add some scalloped edges. So I just took something round in the appropriate size, drew it out with a pencil, and now I'm coming in with white paint and I'm going to paint those scallops in. I did about 2 coats. And then next I'm on the side of my cabinet now. I took one of the stencils in that folk art stencil pack, and I'm going to do this little detail in orange on the top and bottom of the cabinet. It's just a cute little corner detail. Those stencils are in my Amazon storefront if y'all are interested, and that's linked down in the description box. But to seal this piece up, I'm going in with Fusion's Agent Wax all over, inside and out. And the last step to make everything go better together, this back was just raw plywood, so I'm going to hit it with the Agent Wax as well. And that is it for this project. I love folk art recently. It's just so trending. I tested it out in my area with that smaller cabinet, and it sold, so I am hoping this cabinet sells as well. I have it priced for $97. Y'all let me know what you think about this one. next project is another bread box. I picked this one up from Salvation Army and it was pretty grimy. I'm going to start by removing the price tag. I paid $3.99 for this piece and our strawberry shortcake sticker on the front. And then I'm going to really soak this baby down with some Windex, let it soak for a little while, and then I will start wiping away all that grime. I'm going to take a paintbrush and clean the bread engraved details and where the hinges are to make sure I'm getting all that dust off. Next, I'm going to come in with a 120 grit sandpaper and give this baby a good sand. This is going to break down any grime that didn't come off as I was cleaning it and just prep our surface for paint. Y'all should know this step in your sleep by now. It's time to come in with some shellac. Now I'm only going to paint the shellac on the surfaces I plan on adding milk paint to. So I'm going to leave the inside where the food goes alone, but I will do underneath this door area. I mixed up some Flour Sack Sweet Pickins milk paint and we're going to start painting. I'm going to go ahead and go over the hinges too because I like the way that looks when it chips off over that metal area. But we did about 3 coats on the surface to get the coverage I was looking for. And I know y'all, if you have headed over to my website recently, especially after that 20% off sale, the website is kind of slim pickings right now. I am out of Flour Sack, but a great alternative is creamy or antique ironstone. So you might could find an alternative up there if you look hard enough. I do have another shipment coming in soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that information. Speaking of sale, the 20% off all IOD products is still going on right now as this video airs and ends at midnight tonight, and that includes this Poets of Flour IOD transfer book that I plan on using on this bread box. I knew I needed to use these sunflowers on a bread box at some point. So whenever I thrifted this one, I figured, here we go, let's make it happen. So I just laid out my design, cut the transfers up a little bit so they fit my piece better. I can always reposition them, and we're just going to transfer away. I like to lift and rub at the same time. I think that helps the transfer release 10 times faster. Once we get these main pieces down, I'm going to add the pieces we cut off, but unfortunately, I did not record that. Once I get those attached, I'm going to come in and do a light distressing around the edges, get rid of any chip and paint. And if you're wondering, I did not seal over this milk paint before applying the transfers. I prefer just to go right in over top of my dry milk paint. Now picking out the knob, I had this smaller regular sized wood knob in my stash, but whenever I ran across this larger chunky one, I just knew I had to go with that one. It's kind of quirky and cute for it to be so big, and I just like that detail. Now to seal over everything, I'm going to use Sweet Pickins Dark Oil Wax. It's really going to get into that engraved detail when we wipe it back to make the bread word pop. And it's also great to go ahead and seal the inside of your bread box with as well because it is food safe. You just let it sit and soak in the surface for about 10 minutes and then you wipe it off. And that is all for this project. Be sure to let me know what you think about it. I love it, love it, love it. I priced it for $83. Y'all let me know what you think. Our next project is this wooden dresser I picked up from Salvation Army for $20. It is pretty solid and sound structurally, just a few minor scratches and some dresser drawer issues going on. But other than that, I feel like this would be a pretty easy flip. I found this key in it. As you can see, the bottom of this drawer is loose, so we'll have to fix that. But I was in need of a dresser to go in a hole, so I am going to actually do a technique one of y'all suggested on this piece. Let's see if y'all remember it. But first, let's fix all of these repairs. I'm going to start by working on this drawer. I had two of them that needed to be put back in place. So I'm just going to take a hammer, pop out those dovetail joints so I can get it positioned back into that dado groove that's in the bottom of the dresser drawer. Once I get it in there, I'm going to add some glue back to those dovetail joints and then spread that around good, get everything hammered back into place, and then I'll shoot a couple brad nails in it just to hold it while that glue dries. While I'm working on this drawer, I'm going to go ahead and label underneath the drawer so I know where this drawer needs to go back into the dresser cavity. Next, we're going to work on this drawer guide. It's just a plastic piece that's on the bottom of some dressers that keep it running properly on the inside of the dresser, the drawer rail. So these break off all the time. You can order a replacement pack on Amazon for fairly cheap. So I'm just going to measure center so I make sure I'm putting this in the right spot, and then I'm just going to use the screws it comes with to secure it to the back of the drawer. Next, let's scuff sand this piece. As I'm sanding and scuff sanding the dresser, I'm really going to work on getting all those minor scratches and dings out with a 120 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander. I want to start with these dresser drawers and then move on to the rest and give everything else a good scuff sand and smoothing as well. I'm not going back to any raw wood here, so it's just a really quick once over with the sander. Now that we're scuff sanded and cleaned, now it's time to prime. And for the finish I'm going with, I need a white primer under it. My favorite white primer is this Zinsser Ben primer. It's the same consistency and brand as our clear shellac we like to use. So I'm going to use a paint roller and we are going to prime this piece up. Working on the drawers first. Of course, I taped around the edges so I can have a nice clean finish and not have to worry about being too neat as I am rolling. I'm going to allow this layer to dry for about 20 minutes and then come in with a second coat. Once that second coat is dry, I'm going to use a little foam squishy pad on my orbital sander with a 220 grit sandpaper, and we're going to sand over everything we just primed. That's going to smooth out that roller texture that we got from rolling the piece, but you can also do this with a paintbrush as well, and it will smooth out that texture. So here's what we're going with. We're going with a taupe color, this Flood Flutrol, a regular, I love using these paintbrushes from Walmart, and a stiff hand broom. I got this from Lowe's for a couple dollars. Then I got a container here. I'm going to do 50% paint with 50% Flood Floetrol. What this Floetrol does is it extends the paint time. So that means the paint stays wetter longer. And that's what we need to do to create a faux linen technique on our dresser. I'm sure y'all remember me doing the blue one several months ago. And one of y'all actually suggested doing a taupe color one would be awesome. And that is perfect idea. So I'm going to do that on this dresser. So I just get the paint on, nice even brush strokes. And now I am taking our broom and I'm going horizontally. And then I'm going to go vertically. Then I'm going to go back horizontally and then vertically over and over again. And that's going to create these little scratch marks in the paint and bring it back down to that white primer color. And it looks like linen when you get done. So I like to start with something, an area that's small first so I can get the hang of the process. So starting with the dresser drawer is a great first step. You really want to put the paint on in nice, even, long strokes before you come in with the broom. If not, you will have those start and stop areas as when you're painting, because you only get one layer to get this right. We're not coming back in with the second layer of this paint. This is the final layer. When it comes time to doing a larger area, you really got to work fast because the paint will still dry on you. Maybe I needed to add more of the Floetrol to this mixture. So make sure that paint stays wet. You got to work fast, and then I'll come in with the broom immediately and start going vertically, horizontally. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Just go in between the two of them and keep doing it until you like the way it looks. I want to take this time to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for the amount of support y'all showed my 20% off IOD sale. Y'all, I was blown away. Y'all are helping me prepare for something that's coming up, and I appreciate y'all's support so much. So very much. Thank you. I am truly humbled by the support y'all showed me last week. So thank you. Let's get back to this project. I did have a missing guide piece, so I just grabbed one from my stash and I'm going to hammer that in. That just keeps the drawer from rocking side to side. And the last step, the second to last step is we're going to seal this piece up with some polyurethane. No, that's not what it's called. Polyacrylic in the matte sheen. And now I'm going to take my Howard's Feed and Wax on my large fluffy wax brush, and I'm going to give those wooden rails a nice drink so our dresser drawers will glide in nice and easy. This is such an important step when you are working with solid wood furniture. It just makes the biggest difference. Now let's remove that painter's tape and clean up these drawers with that Howard's Feed and Wax too. My friend Emily at J. Bowen and Company sells this feed and wax on her website, and I just love it. I need to head over and get another bottle from her right now, actually. I'm running low. So we're going to do the inside of this dresser and the sides of the drawer. And it just livens that wood up and gives it a nice drink. And then the last step is we're going to add some cute brushed bronze hardware knobs to our dresser. I got these off Amazon, and yes, they are linked in my Amazon storefront. They are some of my favorite hardware pulls. And that is it for this dresser. I love how it came out. It just looks great. Could not pick a better dresser to do it on, honestly. Y'all let me know what you think. I priced it for $247. And that is all I have for you, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you got any inspiration from today's video, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you have not already. I appreciate you spending your time with me today. Don't forget about this is the last few hours of the 20% off IOD sale. So head over there and grab anything off your wish list. Thank you, and I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye.